You are now live. How's the hair? Start off every live stream the same. How's the hair? How's the glasses? Where's my afternoon beer? Or in this case, why is there a hair on my screen? It's under the frickin' container thing, so I can't, get it off. Oh my God, there's so many people. Kate Moore, Sarah Cran, Collie1RC, CJ Wilson, Nano Addle, B the the Extraterrestrial. I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? How's your spaceship? Frank Berman, Boudreaux, welcome everybody. My gosh, since everyone's jumping in here, I feel I need to go straight to the point. Jack RG Music, welcome. I normally like to kind of banter and just kind of pussyfoot around the issue, but let's jump into it, shall we, right now? Hello, Shansu73. Yeah, I mean, the title says it all. I really was a proud Democrat. Obviously, I knew that there were flaws in the party, that there were some problems going around, but boy, the shit that Biden is doing right now, it's just like, it's unbelievable. What the fuck are the Democrats thinking? Okay, so there's a couple key points that I want to bullshit on here. The first being this crap with the asylum policy, that he's using an executive order. This is his choice. This is not something that is being offshot to the Senate, which is this giant body, and he's just going along with it. No, this was his choice. He could have chose not to do it, but he did it. The second, of course, is going to be the genocide in Gaza. And the third is the lack of these attacks against Trump after his conviction. Felony convict Trump. Oh my God. Boy, it's so fucking long to say that. Holy shit. Felony convict Donald J. Trump. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? So this executive order is fucking stupid. I cannot emphasize it enough how dumb this is. Because basically what he's doing is he is tacking hard to the right when it comes to immigration policy. Why? What are you hoping to accomplish here? Why are you giving your enemies what they want and getting absolutely nothing in return? This is the problem with centrism, is that they always picture that there is this imaginary right-wing voter that is going to be like, oh, well, the Democrats, now that they're harder on the border, I guess I don't think they're all pedophiles. Yeah, really, that's the way that you think that these people operate? Come the fuck on, Joe. Come on. Guys, we've got to get serious. Let's stop this malarkey. Come on. It makes no sense. So they're doing a couple of things with it, so I'm just going to cover some of the key points that I recall. The gist being that they are going to demand that people coming to this country wanting asylum do it at the border, which is horseshit, because people fleeing the violence and persecution, like our ancestors, by the way, that founded this fucking country, the people fleeing have to go to a port of entry. And in case you didn't know, there's quite a big bit of distance between the ports of entry. So people running for their fucking lives might not have to make a detour to the Rio Grande when they could just go right up the fucking Arizona border, okay? It doesn't make any sense that these people have to do this now, because the law is very clear. All you have to do is present yourself anywhere and claim asylum. I mean, for Christ's sake, some of these people could be abducted from other countries. This does happen, by the way. They're abducted from these other countries. They're trafficked into America, and then they escape, and now they want to claim asylum. So let's say you've got someone like Denver, Colorado, for example. It was a huge epicenter for sex trafficking. And these women are sex trafficked there. It's children, by the way. These women and children are sex trafficked to Denver, Colorado. They then miraculously escape from their captors, and they go to the nearest police station, or they're they probably wouldn't be able to because they're going to be dehydrated, they're going to be drugged up, and they just run and get as far away, and then they get picked up by some law enforcement. So then they're going to say, I want to claim asylum. And the cop's going to say, well, the border is about 600 miles back that way. How does that make any fucking sense? The other thing is that they are reducing the amount of time for people claiming asylum to try and seek an attorney. It used to be 24 hours that they were given to try between, when they're I'm going to say kidnap, but of course it's not the best term for them, but when they are taken by the authorities or when they first claim asylum, they have 24 hours to then find an attorney, a pro bono attorney, which by in and of itself is not nearly enough time. When I was dealing with my lawsuit, it took me weeks to find an attorney, right? It took me weeks. So now they're cutting that from 24 hours to 4 hours. So it's like, hey, help me if I go home, I'm going to be sex trafficked. And the authorities are like, okay, well, you got 4 hours, so here's a phone book. When they might not even speak the fucking language. It's horrible. And again, who do the Democrats think they're appeasing in this? What is the goal? Because you know what you are doing? You sure as fuck are not winning votes, but you are losing votes. You are losing the votes of the people that Biden promised that he would keep these folks safe. This is one of the founding principles of this country. This is how we got started. The Pilgrims were kicked the fuck out of Britain and had to come here because it was either, the king is like, hey, either you stay here or we hang you. I'm like, well, anybody got a boat? And they went and they came over here. This is how it started. And then it blows my fucking mind that the Democrats, this is the problem with centrism. Because with centrism, they just assume that if they take the middle course, that people will flock to them. That's not the way it works. You actually have to do the things that people want, that they connect with, that they associate with. Otherwise, they don't care. There are no right-wing voters that are going to support Biden after this. There are absolutely zero. But there are a shit ton of Democrats like myself that see this kind of crap and say, this is not what I voted for. This is not what I heard the campaign speeches for. This is not what I gave donations for. This is sure as fuck not what I volunteered hours of my time to get on the goddamn phone and talk to people and convince them to vote for you. We're saying either. This is not what we stand for. And there seems to be no kind of balancing of the path here to find the way back to do what liberals want. Liberals want a path to citizenship. We want more judges so that these folks can get their path to citizenship. I know a lot of people that are undocumented. I know a lot of people that even came here, the quote-unquote correct way. They came here on visas, and then they worked hard, and then they did everything they get to get their citizenship, which is, by the way, an incredibly stupid and difficult path. And it takes years. It should not be this hard, especially in a country where, by the way, we need more workers. We're running out of workers in this country. That's why there's a small labor, well, not a small, but there is a bit of a labor deficit between jobs open and number of people able to work. So that's the issue with the border crap. Now, let's move on to everyone's favorite topic that is absolutely not controversial and is clearly the correct thing to say. What's happening in Gaza is a genocide. Not controversial at all, right? Don't you miss the days where we could talk about things that were non-controversial, like the minimum wage? Anyway, Hang Around India. That's an interesting account name. So with the genocide in Gaza, Biden is continuing to allow it. There has been absolutely no effort to change policy in Gaza, despite them bombing a school. They bombed a school, for Christ's sakes. And just what happened in Rafah, I believe this was last week, this was the refugee camp. This was the place that Israel themselves told the folks that are left there in Gaza to go. They said, this is the safe spot. Go there. So they go there, and then Israel turns around and gives them less than 24-hour notice and says, oh, by the way, we're still bombing you. This is what our taxpayer dollars are being used for. They are used to drop bombs on these tents that have so much power that they decapitate children with the force of the explosion. That is what your taxpayer dollars are being used for. I don't want that to be used for it. You probably don't want it to be used for it. Unless you're a fucking psychopath. That could be the case. In which case, you're probably not watching this feed. Our taxpayer dollars should be going to help the people. In case you don't know, we could use some help. We could use expanding of Medicaid. We could use housing subsidies. We could be using tax refunds so that, and that's the other thing, right-wingers want this country to have children, so give people tax rebates so that we can, or subsidies for child health care, for child nutrition, for daycare, for all these other things that actually matter, not just a fucking fetus the moment after conception. Okay, Catholic Church? We should be using our taxpayer dollars to help the people, not cause bombs, death, and destruction. And even after all of this, after all of Israel's war crimes, there is absolutely no change in democratic policy. Joe Biden himself has said that all this stuff happening does not change his view on what's going on in Israel. And then there was a peace deal, which Israel themselves had originally, the lower cabinet members in Israel had been agreeing to, between the Hamas and I think it was being negotiated through Qatar. They had agreed to these terms, and now they turned around and said, nope, we're not having it. And still, Biden will do nothing about it. Again, I am tired. I feel so fucking helpless. I feel so fucking powerless. I call my representatives. I make donations to the right people, and still, there is no change in U.S. policy. No matter what my actions do, I go to the encampments, I go to the protests, I go to the marches. No matter what I do, there is no change in U.S. policy. So yeah, I'm not really a proud Democrat anymore. I'm not. I want to be a Democrat. I want to be someone on the left. I want to be someone that is in favor of a government that helps the people, not gives handouts to welfare queens like Elon Musk. The right doesn't want money to have babies and other incentives. They feel we're giving handouts. Yeah, of course they feel that way, because they're a bunch of fucking idiots. They would rather use our taxpayer dollars to give to the Catholic Church so they can cover up their fucking pedophiles from lawsuits. That's what the fucking right wing wants. And they want to get us in forever wars like they did in Iraq. They want to do that with Iran now. Damn it. I started this off with 3 points. It was Gaza. I cannot remember the third point I was going to make. This is going to make for really interesting YouTube viewing when I upload this. There's a lot of space of me making weird faces. Trying to remember the third point that I wanted to make. Maybe I'll just jump right to it. Semi-glands, welcome. I need to start writing shit down so I can just consult it here. Oh, come on, James. Try to remember. Okay. I was a proud Democrat, but Biden has made me rethink it. I cannot remember my third point. I'm going to be really, really mad when I watch this on YouTube. And all the comments are like, oh my God, he's on drugs. And he can't remember the small things that he was supposed to say in his rant. Damn it! Anyway, maybe if I just talk some more, it'll come to mind. The point is that I really did used to be, okay, I don't agree with everything Biden is doing, but he's still better than Trump or RFK and what he do. Okay, Vango, very, very good point. You are correct. He is better than Trump. And don't get me wrong, I am still voting for Biden. If the right-wingers in 2016 who knew that Trump was a piece of shit but still wanted their Supreme Court justices, they still wanted to overturn Roe v. Wade, they still wanted, their tax cuts for the billionaire criminals, if they could plug their nose and vote for him, then God damn it, I can hold my nose and vote for Biden. And don't get me wrong, I am going to. Doesn't mean that I fucking like it. And this should not be the duality of our politics, okay? We should not have to deal with, someone who's absolutely fucking terrible, but because he's terrible, half the fucking country like that, or a person who does a couple of good things, but also, by and large, some really horrible things that outweigh the terrible things. This should not be. And also, maybe this was the third point I was trying to make. I can't remember. But the course of U.S. action, policy right now should be guided by the people. We voted these people in power, and they are not doing what the people want. They're not. That's why there's so much disruption. That's why there's all these protests. That's why there's all these encampments. That's why there's all these actions, stopping freeways, all this other shit, blocking ports for boats to go out, is because the people we put in charge are not listening to the people. So if you're not going to do what we put you in place to do, you give us no other recourse but to take action and stop the shit that's happening. So yes, I am going to vote for Biden, and I fucking hate it. Totally relate to this. Both parties are such a joke at this point. I'm just scared enough people hate Biden that they'll vote for Trump instead, and he'll win in our country. I agree, Evalente. I agree. I totally agree. It is fucking terrifying. Again, I know a lot of undocumented folks, and what's going to happen to them if Trump gets in charge is terrifying. What's going to happen to all of us if Trump gets in charge again is terrifying. So I totally feel you. The parties are a joke. The Democrats are morons. No one can throw away. Oh, that was it. The Democrats are not going after Trump for his charges. I remembered the third. I told you if I just talk enough, I'll remember it. The Democrats are not going after Trump for his charges. Okay, I'm going to try to answer these things, and then I'm going to come back to that. Democrats are not going after Trump for his charges. The fact that these two geezers are our options for president again is such a joke. Yeah, I agree. I don't personally. I don't think. I think both their age is a concern. But again, you look at one's behavior and demeanor, and you look at the other. Have you seen Trump's toupee? It is fucking all over the place. It is like a fox, like a golden fox in a windstorm up on his head. Have you seen that thing? He's got fucking flyaways hanging everywhere. He's rambling. He's incoherent. Sean Hannity in the interview, I think it was yesterday, had to coax him back on track. He's like, now, Mr. Trump, the thing is, we got to get you focused on what matters. He's like, no, the thing is that I want to talk about the bullshit. Okay, the bullshit. The bullshit is what's the biggest of bullshits. You know? So, we need a multi-party system. Well, anyways, I'm not too concerned about their age. I'm concerned about Trump's age. I'm kind of concerned about Biden's age, but not so much because he actually seems functional. I agree we need a multi-party system. Sure, yeah, I can understand that. Stop calling me people. So that's the third part, is that Democrats have a clear advantage right now if they would go after Trump. The dude was found guilty on 34 felony counts. 34 felony counts. You think the Republicans would let a political advantage like that go? Hell no. Every single day, they'd be out there saying, I am running against a convicted felon. What did Trump do in 2016? He said, I am running against someone that is going to be a convicted felon. And the Democrats are throwing away this opportunity. Well, on that note, I have to go because Progressive, a bunch of fuck-ups, screwed up my tow truck driver, and he's now here. So, hope you enjoyed. Please follow me and enjoy my content on social media.